joining us again. This week we're having a bit of a harvest focus. And I mentioned yesterday that where I live we have the privilege of a reasonable sized vegetable patch in our garden. Isaac, my youngest, is quite interested in growing vegetables, and he will help to dig and to weed and to plant and to water. But what he really loves is that harvest moment. And as soon as things are getting close these days, he's constantly checking to see if things are ready. Do they taste okay? Have they turned the right colour? He was peeling back some sweet corn a few weeks ago to see if all the kernels were yellow. And then he'll say, what size are the carrots? And he'll pull one out and it'll be that big, and he'll have to be a bit more patient. And he absolutely loves digging up the potatoes and gathering in things like the peas and bringing them back up to the house. Harvest time in our scriptures are speaking into what was the culmination of lots of time, work, graft, effort and hope. It was the time of celebration after the long months of cultivating and worrying over the crops. It was the time for bringing in the harvest, the time that everyone had been working towards. So it was naturally a time of reflection, naturally a time to pause and look back over all the work, but also it was a time for celebrating. In our time, when shops don't tend to stock seasonally produced goods, we can normally get whatever we want all year round. We don't have that same moment of gathering in. And of course, each of us are involved in so many different industries these days: manufacturing, service, healthcare, teaching, volunteering, caring. There's more I've missed, I'm sure. There's no universal time for us all to stop and celebrate the completion of our projects or the work and the efforts that we've been putting in. Harvest time, perhaps, in the most part, seems just a little irrelevant to our normal lives. Well, let's read what God says through Moses in Deuteronomy chapter 16, 9 to 16. Count off 7 weeks from the time you begin to put the sickle to the standing grain. Then celebrate the festival of weeks to the Lord your God by giving a free will offering in proportion to the blessings the Lord God has given you. And rejoice before the Lord your God at the place he will choose as a dwelling for his name. You, your sons and daughters, your male and female servants, the Levites in your towns, and the foreigners and the fatherless and the widows living among you. Remember that you were slaves in Egypt, and follow carefully these decrees. Celebrate the festival of tabernacles for 7 days after you've gathered the produce of your threshing floor and your winepress. Be joyful at your festival, you, your sons and daughters, your male and female servants, the Levites, the foreigners, the fatherless, the widows who live in your towns. For 7 days celebrate the festival to the Lord your God at the place the Lord God will choose. For the Lord your God will bless you in all your harvest and in all the work of your hands, and your joy will be complete. 3 times a year all your men must appear before the Lord your God at the place he will choose, at the festival of the unleavened bread, the festival of weeks, and the festival of the tabernacles. No one should appear before the Lord empty-handed. As Moses and the people are preparing for the time when they will live in the land of milk and honey, when they will farm and they will harvest, God sets up 3 festivals for them: unleavened bread and Passover, and then these 2 harvest-focused festivals, the festivals of weeks and the festivals of tabernacles, the festival of weeks and the festival of tabernacles. The purpose of these festivals was, of course, to stop, to look back on how God had blessed the people, and to bring God gifts, showing their gratitude. But a significant part of these festivals was the command to celebrate, to have 7 days of feasts to celebrate the crop, the harvest. The Lord God clearly ordains celebration and joy to be a central part of these festivals. God wanted the whole community to come together to celebrate, to be joyful in the work of their hands and the provision of their God. As I said earlier, for most of us, the agricultural focus of harvest doesn't feel that relevant. What we eat and buy no longer is governed by the seasons. But we are all made in the image of God. And we all create, produce, work. Some of us are paid, others volunteer. Some of us are retired, but we still get involved. Some of us serve our families in the home. But all of us are putting some effort into life, producing something. And our efforts deserve us to stop and to pause and to look back over them. Our efforts deserve us to stop and recognise the struggles, the worries, the sacrifices we've made. And our efforts deserve us to stop and look at the produce, to see the finished article. God has blessed us with skills. He's blessed us with an opportunity for fruitfulness. And so he longs that when we look back at a job well done, hopefully, we would celebrate. We would know joy. So why not this week take a moment to pause, consider what you've done, what you've made, your work, your volunteering, your caring, your service, your sacrifices over the last year. Look back and thank God for the fruit you have produced. And thank God for those who have worked alongside you. Perhaps this harvest time will give you a chance to do that. And consider how you could build this into the rhythm of your own life. Could you set aside a key time to look back and reflect on what you've achieved and then to celebrate your harvest? May God bless us as we think about these things together.
answer.